Donald Trump's July 4th disaster has begun. At 2:11 a.m., he started ranting and raving like a lunatic, posting these photos of Pee Wee Herman and John Ossoff, Senator of Georgia. This is how he kicked off a day which should have been a unifying celebration of America's 250th. He says Pee Wee Herman. Then he posted another photo like that, Alfred E. Newman of James Tallarico. Folks, it is a very, very dangerous day to be outside in Washington, D.C., as you know, from Capitol weather. Heads up, D.C. area. The extreme heat and humidity has the atmosphere primed to potentially produce severe thunderstorms and severe lightning storms capable of damaging winds as well late Saturday afternoon into the evening. We're talking about 105, 110 degree weather out there in Washington, D.C. And Donald Trump still seems like he's going to be at least going forward with his speech, where people are supposed to start to arrive around 5 p.m. And then the speech really won't start until 10:30, 11. We already saw numerous incidents of people being rushed to the hospital, people on life support. There have been rumors of really, really horrific things happening as well. I want to wait until, I have confirmation of that if anybody died. But we know that there have been serious injuries already at this failure of a so-called American state fair that we've been covering. Numerous ambulances have been seen. Also, it should be noted that a little bit earlier this morning, Iran's IRGC completely shut down the shipping lane that the United States was trying to use to evade the IRGC shipping lane in the Strait of Hormuz. So Iran's IRGC just completely shut down the U.S.-backed Omani corridor in the Strait of Hormuz with its speedboat fleet, with not a single vessel right now using the Omani corridor for more than half the day. You can see this on the marine traffic data. This follows Iran's IRGC issuing radio warnings. We could hear that on the VHF radio signals that were being sent out, telling ships that they would be shot at and they would be attacked if they did not use the IRGC lane. Then we saw the ships using the IRGC lane. And so we're following that right now. And you should recall as well that yesterday when Donald Trump was giving that deranged speech in South Dakota out in Mount Rushmore, he basically said that after the funeral of the Ayatollah is over, America's going to go back to attacking Iran. He's like, they're begging for a deal. They're begging us, but we took some time off because of the funeral of the Ayatollah, but then we're going to be back at it. So Iran's response was, okay, you're threatening us again, which is a violation of the MOU, and you violate the MOU every day. We're going to shut down that Oman lane. And they just did it on July 4th. And, they're like, okay, we'll do that. And you could go ahead and make your cookies, Donald. Go make your cookies with your face on Mount Rushmore and pass that out to the press. This is what members of the press who were aboard Air Force One, the Qatari Air Force One. Yeah. The one that Qatar gave him for $400 million, the $400 million jet that American taxpayers then subsidized with $1 billion. Yeah. These were cookies served to the first, were served yesterday aboard Air Force One. And you can see that it has Donald Trump's face. And what the hell are we doing here, folks? What the hell are we doing here? Oh, Donald Trump posted this on July 4th morning. This was his first post outside of Pee Wee Herman and Alfred E. Newman. Donald Trump's message on July 4th is, has anyone ever seen a happy Democrat? Donald J. Trump. It's just stupid. It's just dangerous and moronic, and we are so much better than this as a nation, in my view. Should also be noted that there were literal Nazis marching around Washington, D.C. today. Yes, Washington, D.C. filled with actual Nazis. Members of the group Patriot Front, you see them right here, were marching around Washington, D.C., talking about basically all the things that Donald Trump talks about, eradicating immigrants and going after people who aren't white, Aryan race. That's what's going on right now. You see the members of the group, the Patriot Front, waiting aboard the Metro on the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Independence Day on July 4th. By the way, didn't Kash Patel and Donald Trump and that whole despicable regime say, oh, that was actually the Patriot Front is the feds. It was the feds, and Biden was working with them because it was all part of a psyop against MAGA. Oh, got it. Is it still the feds? The Daily Wire, though, go, yes, it is the Southern Poverty Law Center and the feds who have dressed up as the Patriot Front group to pretend to be Nazis today in order to inspire the racism, that Donald Trump spews every day. Let me just show you this group of masked men gathered at Union Station calling for the reclaiming of the country and getting rid of immigrants, basically what Donald Trump said in his speech last night. Here, play this clip. You could see over here, Mitchell Miller posted this video right here. The group marched away from Union Station carrying various flags. Let's play this. And while that's going on, while you have literal Nazis roaming around D.C., the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Our economy is in the absolute garbage right now. Consumer confidence has been the worst in the history of the Michigan Consumer Confidence Survey report. Folks, here's what we learned more about Donald Trump. A watch-sized gold ring was gifted to Donald Trump this week from a Belgian diamond group, months after it won a tariff relief. Isidore Morcel, president of the Antwerp World Diamond Center, presented the ring to Bill White, the U.S. ambassador to Belgium, to give to Donald Trump. Come on, as our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says, Trump's tariffs were never about the American economy or American business. They were like everything else, just another mob boss extortion racket to enrich Trump and his cronies. You know this by now, but, nearly 1 million investors lost a total of $3.8 billion on the Trump crypto coin, while Trump made $2.2 billion. The investors lost $3.8 billion. A report from a cryptocurrency analytics firm details those who bought the Trump meme coin have fared. Most of the retail investors have got totally wiped out and lost everything. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says, Trump and his sons ripped off nearly 1 million of their supporters, made a fortune producing nothing of value for anyone, blood-sucking leeches, using the U.S. presidency to do it, and they couldn't care less, and their cult doesn't seem to mind. Strange times in America. And while you have Donald Trump and his regime bragging about how they are destroying wind and solar and all types of renewable energy, PJM Interconnection, the largest U.S. power grid, has announced it is no longer able to provide expected energy requirements amid this record-breaking heat wave, serving 67 million people across the Mid-Atlantic, South, and Washington, D.C. regions. The grid operator is now implementing emergency plans for utilities to reduce demand as it struggles to stabilize the system and avoid potential power outages, per Reuters. And yesterday, you had Energy Secretary Chris Wright post this pie chart showing that, and this is what he said, the Trump regime bragged that PJM power grid was relying exclusively on fossil fuels instead of renewables. Keep our air conditioners blasting, the Trump regime said. So they were attacking Mayor Mamdani of New York, saying, folks, we're in this together. Let's be careful here. Focus on conserving power, because if these power grids break, we can all suffer and it could lead to catastrophic consequences. You have the Trump regime saying, yeah, we got rid of all of those renewables. Keep those air conditions blasting. And now PJM Interconnection says, we can't handle the grid right now, so we have to go to emergency measures. Doesn't everything with this Trump regime seem to be going to emergency measures? This emergency, that emergency, the biggest crisis since this, the biggest crisis, the worst employment since this. Yeah, that's the Trump regime for you. But Donald Trump will get up there and he'll rant and rave about, we're going after Karl Marx followers. We're going after the communisms. We're going after communists. Yeah, America. And there are still people who buy that. There are still people who will be treated horrifically, but they buy into that. Let me just show you over here what it looks like right now in Iran, because this is not being covered anywhere. And when Donald Trump starts saying, oh, we may do ground invasions of Iran, and I just want to show you what the Ayatollah Khomeini's funeral looks like in Tehran. I know there's no Western media reporting on this. There's expected to be 30 million people showing up in Tehran and nearby cities for the Ayatollah Khomeini. This right here is what's going down in Tehran. They're cycling in different groups of hundreds and thousands, 100,000s at a time because the stadium can't fit everybody. You can see right here they have misting stations over here above everybody. Here's another overhead shot of what it looks like right now in Tehran. I'm just gonna show you what the video of this, and you can hear the eulogist at the prayer saying, "We have not come to bury our leader. We have come to avenge him. O avengers of the martyred leader." About 30 million Iranians showing up for this. And there have been dozens of countries sending their top dignitaries to attend this as well. Here, play this clip right here. Now let me read you what Senator Bernie Sanders had to say about Donald Trump not being America first on July 4th. He goes, "Let's be clear. Trump's administration is not America first. It is Trump first." Bernie Sanders said the following: "As we celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country, it is important to understand that never before in our history have we had an administration as openly as corrupt as Trump's. This is a president who made at least $2.2 billion in his first year back in the White House. This is a president who is flying around on a $400 million plane gifted to him by a dictatorship in Qatar. This is a president whose family made $1.4 billion from their cryptocurrency business last year. This is a U.S. president whose family received $187 million from the UAE for his cryptocurrency firm just 4 days before Trump's inauguration. This is a president who approved more than $1.5 billion in taxpayer dollars to bankroll mining deals in Kazakhstan that his own family and friends will profit from. Let's be clear. Trump administration is not America first. It is Trump first." And Jamie Raskin, Democratic Congress member, said the following when Donald Trump's saying, "I'm going after this commie and that commie." Happy 4th to President Trump, who can effectively pursue his new anti-communist campaign by not sending any more love letters to Kim Jong-un, the top-line communist dictator of North Korea with whom he has great chemistry, not lavishing praise on President Xi Jinping, the top-of-the-line brilliant communist dictator of China, and not serving dictator Vladimir Putin, former head of the KGB, by calling him a very smart and his bloody imperialist moves against Ukraine genius, and by bolstering Putin's campaign against our democratic allies in NATO. Anti-communism is easy, Mr. President, when you start defending human rights and stop fawning over communist tyrants. Now, moments ago, Pope Leo XIV gave a unifying message on July 4th, unlike whatever the hell Donald Trump did this morning.
In these past 250 years, for so many peoples throughout the world, it was the firm resolve to achieve the noble vision of the nation's founders that made America a byword for freedom. As the country opened its doors to successive waves of immigrants, enabling them and their children to play their part in shaping the future of the nation. It was this same love of freedom that inspired the United States in the darkest hours of the last century, at the time of the 2 world wars, to look beyond itself and at great sacrifice to champion the cause of freedom beyond its own borders.
There you have it, everybody. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. On behalf of the MeidasTouch network, though, seriously, happy 4th of July. This should be a unifying day. This should be a day that we're all together. It will be in the future. Maybe in a post-Trump world, we can redo America's 250th and have like a redo of what this should have been. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
New Meidas merch drop! Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.meidastouch.com.